Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I hope everyone had a great weekend. And my Monday cheers in the coffee cup here. So I'm glad to see everybody kind of jumping in today. Appreciate it. So, what are we talking about today? I want to talk a little bit about some national and state FOMO coming in, and here's Trade Intuition jumping on in. He was having some technical difficulties. I was just about to tell everybody you'd be here shortly, so welcome.
Thank you, man. It's dark in this room. I got the lights on.
Yeah, a little bit, bud.
Yeah, I'm gonna. So I'm gonna do your thing. I got a fresh cup of coffee because I really do need it today because I was up all night, 6 in the morning. Woke up. I went in bed at 6 in the morning. Woke up at 9 so I can catch Army Piper and back to work. But so you do your thing. I'm gonna get some coffee. I'll be right back.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead. And when he gets back, we'll let him kind of jump in first because we've been kind of flipping things around here a little bit. But if you're just jumping in, make sure you hit that like button. I can see I got some people on Facebook, so thank you very much. Thumbs up. I appreciate that. And listen, share this out. Trying to spread the word here and trying to get this information out to more and more people because, big picture things, whether it's today, we're going to be talking pretty much primarily cryptocurrency. But I mean, a lot of times on my live streams, I'm talking about a bunch of other macroeconomic things. So share this out. People need to see it. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, tick the bell icon, click the all. That way you get notified every time I'm live. Let's see who is here today. Automatic Beats, always in the house. Yeah, let's go, man. Yes, good morning. Good morning. Alexandra G, thank you for being here. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. She is the best. She is the best. Spreading the word. Matter of fact, Joe just mentioned about coming from Army Piper and Piper Academy every 9:30, every Monday through Friday, every day, Monday through Friday. And I'll tell you, in a lot of the clips that I've done, and I got another clip dropping tomorrow. I'm always sending people over there because he is so much better at putting out all this macroeconomic data than I am. So if you are not already following him, link to his channel is in the description. So go right ahead and make sure you are following him as well. Alexandra G, if you're still have that information, feel free, throw Piper's link into the comments, please. I appreciate that. So okay, that's where we are. And Joe, welcome back. You got your coffee, you ready to go here at this point? Oh, your mic's off, bud. Your mic's off.
Sorry about that. Yeah,
that's
okay. I had to
reboot
my computer and everything because my camera stopped working, and it does that just because I have so many programs open, so many tabs open, and I look a little orange. I was trying to adjust the camera, but right when I did it, the camera software it just messes up, and it gets it to a quarter, and of course I'm not in that quarter section, so it's like I don't know what I look like. Let me just try to lighten it. So I'm orange, but you can at least see me. So.
It's so funny you say about having all those tabs open. You say it all the time. I almost commented on the video you did earlier today where you said that. You're like, oh, I got 20 tabs open. And then I was almost going to be like, close some tabs.
Dude, the ones that I close like before this stream, I close like 30 to 40. And same thing with my streams, 30 to 40 tabs. And then I still have like four different windows open with like 6 tabs on each one.
I understand.
And then what I'll try to do is I'll try to, add it to a favorite, like important or whatever it is, so I can go back to it later. But man, this is like so long. It's like, oh my gosh, it's crazy.
Thank you, Alexandra G. I appreciate that. Because again, everybody, if you're not following Piper Academy, because you'll see Joe even on Piper Academy a little later today, 4 p.m. Eastern. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. And what's that? I thought Joe was going for the Trump look.
Tell you what, I am orange. I saw it right now. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm orange. But if I try to fix it, it messes everything up. Maybe I should try to fix it. So you're gonna see me kind of disappear a little bit. Oh, and of course.
Yep. There you go. Poof.
Yep. So let me now. Now I'm blue. I look, let's see here. So now let's close this out. There we go. So I'm not so orange now. I'm a little bit blue. All right, here we go. I'm ready.
You sure you're good?
I'm good.
All right. Let's see. Now back to working out. There you go. I'm with that. With that, on a roll. Got to work out. You got to be healthy, man. We talked about that a little bit on Friday night with Jen when she was on. So let me start out with this because I just think it is. I was honestly going to open with the screen, but I got otherwise distracted. So here we go. What do you think?
Excited. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not religious, but I bought a bunch of candles. I'll be praying a bunch.
There you go.
Let's see.
That's awesome. Well, we'll see. That's next Monday, and we'll be. I think we're going to be live right after that. Right? I think it's at like 9 a.m. or something. I don't know. I gotta actually look that up. But I thought that was worthy to just start off with right here. Joe. Oh wait, I tried to close that tab and it didn't work. There we go. So let's we'll jump into what you have, because I'm sure everybody is here to listen to your take on what the hell is happening with Bitcoin here at this point. But before we do that, I would like to look at the fear and greed index as soon as I can find the right tab here. There we go. Here it is. I'm quite frankly, given everything that's going on now, I realize this resets in 7 hours, but like I'm wholly surprised that it's actually this high. Are you? I mean, I don't know. That's
with all the recent dump of Bitcoin and also just the alts in general, I'm really surprised it's that high.
Yeah. I mean, I really expected it to be like neutral at best. So wow. I don't know. I guess there's still hopium in the market, which is cool. You know, I think we need that, and not for nothing. What's going on with Bitcoin is almost counterintuitive to what I want to talk about today. And by the way, there's a poll when you're jumping into YouTube. Go ahead, and I'm interested to see where that pans out, because I believe there is going to be a lot of like state and nation FOMO that's going to affect the Bitcoin price. But if you look at the charts today, man, it don't look that way. Are you ready to jump in, Joe? Now that we looked at the fear and greed, you want to look at the Bitcoin chart? All right, man. Here you go. Take it away.
All right. So we're looking at Bitcoin. This is on the 5-minute time frame. I know what you're thinking. 5 minutes. Whoa, that's crazy. 5-minute time frame. We're zooming in. We're looking at all the support resistance levels. We're going to zoom out in just a moment, but we can see it did come into my area. This is my bounce zone. So let's go ahead and zoom out right now. So this is my bounce zone. This is my danger zone. So the bounce zone, it's in white. It's 91.9 to 90.7. And then just underneath that is my danger zone. Now we do have an area right here between 90.6 and 90.2. When we zoom in, we'll see more about this. But right now, we're looking at this, and the reason it's a bounce zone, this is what started this bounce zone. It came down after this run up, came down, stopped here, pivoted, really nice pivot, swing, whatever you want to call it, and it created this area, this box. Price came almost down to it, and it bounced up, almost down to it, bounced up, almost down to it, bounced up, went into it barely with the wick, bounced up, went into it again, barely with the wick, bounced up. Now, and of course, in my group, I mentioned that in here, I want to see at least 3 to 4 candles inside this box for me to gain confidence that it's gaining strength, Bitcoin's gaining strength, and then hopefully going up. Right now, we did have one which closed inside here, which was good. Then we had another one that closed inside here, which is good. Now, granted, when I saw this happening, it's like, oh, crap. But we have to be patient. We have to wait for candles to close. The candle did close above and right in this box. I love it. Now we have another one here. I would like to see not so much of this size candle. I would like to see little candles like this. So for me personally, I would love to see a candle like this, and then another candle like this. And then what it's doing is showing me that it's gaining strength. It's not just a dump and then a pump. You know, this to me screams manipulation. I want to see these little candles. And at least 2 to 3 minimum on the 4-hour time frame. I would love to see 3 to 5. Here we had 1, we had 2, and then this one possibly coming back in. And then let's see if we range in here for a little bit. And then if we do, and then we break out, again, it's showing me strength. Let's go to the 1-hour time frame. On the 1-hour time frame, we can see just huge wick. Huge wick. And let's see here. We were playing with leverage here, up and down. And of course, you know, it did break this. So I have zones. Throughout my entire chart, it's nothing but zones. You know, we're using this wick right here. It came down here, it retested, came up, retested again, came up, and then it broke through. Once again, I notified my group. You know, I'm watching this stuff. I notified the group. It's like, as long as we're in this bigger picture, here's our range high, our range low, and then, you know, kind of our mid-range area. So this just means this is our highs, our low, mid-range. Now, it's not the absolute high, because our absolute high is up here, but this is our ranging part of Bitcoin right now. As long as it's within this range, it's bullish. If it breaks underneath our bounce zone, that's when I get scared. That's when it's bearish to me. And could you trade leverage, you know, higher leverage going up and down? Sure, you can do that all day. But in reference to like actually doing a short for more than a few minutes or a couple hours, it would have to break into our danger zone and then break below it. Let's go a little bit more and then we'll end it. But right now, just 1-hour time frame, came down, bounced up, came up here right into my zone that I had for this particular one. I was looking for a bounce here. And of course, it didn't happen. However, this one, it did come up right to this area and came down. Now, this one, I just pretty much got from the wicks, you know, from the pretty much the bottom of this one to kind of the average of here. And that's how I got this box. Now it's coming down. And it may come all the way down to here before we see a bounce up. And this is on 90.7 thousand. If we go to a smaller time frame, we can see more of the pivots. So I really hope that it finds support at this level. We'll make this one a blue so we can kind of see it. 91.3. I'm looking for it to possibly find support here and then continue up, which would result in higher highs and higher lows. But as of right now, it doesn't look strong. And we can kind of see that just with this dump. But what we would like to see is a pullback, a higher low, and then a break of this level. So that's right now not looking good, looking very bearish. Even though we had this nice little bounce, it needs to create a pivot and then break this level. So that's my thought process on this.
Well, I was gonna ask a question because the general mantra is that if it keeps hitting a level, eventually it breaks it. And you're talking about it closing in that level. So I was thinking, oh, is that like a different thought process? So if it closes on that pivot level or on that support level and stays in that range, it's a good thing.
Yes.
And so I'm understanding that correctly.
Yes. Yeah. So what you don't want is you don't want to see this. At least I don't, because what I do is I look for the strength of the move. If you have a candle that we have a candle body close, so we have the candle body, here's a wick.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're seeing this, you're seeing the structure, you're seeing the strength, the size of the candle, the size of the wicks. But then if you see something like this, and then just a wick down here, this is saying that it came into this area, but then it got bought up really quick.
Right.
And then here's another candle, Here it came in here, and then it got bought up really quick. For me personally, to show that this is a really strong area of support, what I want to see is not so much that buyback really fast. I want to see the candle in here, and I want to see how strong this it really is, because this right here, it could be kind of like I don't know of analogy, maybe like a really weak person acting strong, but here this guy's really flexing his muscles. So what I mean by this is when it comes down and it shoots right back up, yes, there was buying pressure, but
Right.
I don't know if it's really strong. Here, this is lasting the test of time. You're having
Gotcha.
all these kind of bodies in here, and then now what is it going to do? Is it just going to give up and say, you know what, I'm done, I'm tired, or is it going to break through that wall and say, man, I'm strong, I've been, working out or whatever, and then it breaks through that wall? This is what I want to see. I don't want to see this. This just, to me, came down, got bought back up, which is good. Don't get me wrong, it's good, but
Right.
I would rather see this to where now it's like a decision point. It's a fight. Who's going to win the battle? Is it going to, are they basically going to give up and put the white flag and go down, or are they going to charge? And this is what I'm looking for.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you for explaining that, because like I said, that's what you hear. The more you test an area, the higher the likelihood it's going to break. So I appreciate that, Joe. Thanks.
Mhm.
Hopefully that gives everybody a little bit of hope, a little hopium for Bitcoin going forward here. Jeffrey, welcome. Appreciate you being here. We got 100 Air in the house as well. Yes, all the beautiful people. Yes, that's that's all I got. Sorry. Anywho, what's this 100 Air saying? Joe, do you need to watch the 1 hour, or can you do the same on the 4 hour?
See, do I need to watch the 1 hour? So the 1 hour is going to show me more ups and downs. It's going to show me more pivots versus the 4 hour. Now, granted, the 4 hour is stronger, but whenever I go to the lower time frame, I'm looking to see what levels it's breaking. So, like,
Okay.
time frame, it's a very tricky subject. But if you just kind of simplify it to where the larger time frame is stronger, the lower time frame you have more of the volatility, all the ups and downs. But in the lower time frames, because you see all those ups and downs, you can see what levels it's breaking and what levels it's gaining support as it's making the candle on the larger time frame. So that generally helps me out, and that's why sometimes I'll go to the 15-minute, the 5-minute, and then you can always just look to the left. But I prefer doing that. I go to 4 hour, 1 hour, and then sometimes like the 15-minute to see, okay, this is the bigger picture on the 4 hour, but I want to know what's going to happen leading up to that 4 hour. So that's
Yeah,
why I go
what's causing it, kind of thing. Yeah.
right.
Gotcha. And Jeffrey saying good stuff. Yes, good stuff. What's that say? 1 second or bust. There you go. Yes. I would say stay away from that 1 minute chart. Anyway, I don't know. I know he said 1 second, but I'm just saying. Joe, you know what time it is.
Let's do it. I
Yeah,
love Mondays, man. I'm telling you what, I love Mondays. It's a reminder for me to take my blood pressure medicine because it gets
there you go. Let's see. Oop, is that the right one? Nope, that's the wrong one. That's the right one. Here we go. All right. When Joe and I were live last week, this was where we were on the Fear and Greed Index. I'm going to bring that up full screen so it's a little easier for you to see. 36 trillion. It just kills me. $316 billion. You want to take a guess where we are today, Joe? I don't want to.
I'm not sure.
I don't want to stress you out too much, but
I tell you what, though, I know it's going to be way more in about 2 months due to all these fires because they're going to print more money.
Oh my God. Talk about the ability to have conspiracy theories with regard to that. And again, prayers go out to everybody in California, and anybody that's affected, because I know there are a lot of people that are part of like the Billy Goat Network and the Piper Network and so on and so forth that either are being affected by these fires or have family that are. So prayers out to them. But you're right, Joe. It is going to go up, and there isn't going to be any way around that, I don't think. But here is the current debt clock, and you can see the 36,345 billion. So basically, approximately in 1 week, an approximate $30 billion increase in 1 week. And thank God we only got one more week to go with them doing crazy stuff. Yeah. But yeah, here we are. Almost 20 billion 1 week. So we'll see where we land next week, and where we're going to land after all this money gets thrown at these fires. And yes, automatic beats. I know, right? RIP to all those lost hardware devices in those fires. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I mean, good Lord. I mean, just the complete devastation. I mean, the pictures that are starting to come out, and what's okay. Not that I'm trying to get down this road, but what's aggravating me at this point is the fact that now you got the governor blocking people from getting to their homes, even though, you know, to basically be able to try and salvage whatever they're able to salvage. You know, he won't, you know, help secure the border of the country, but he'll keep people who own property out of their property. But again, not what this stream is for here at this point. Sorry, man. Sorry. FF is in the house. Welcome, FF. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, and all them C phrases. Yeah, hopefully they've got those stored somewhere else as well. Yeah, the inflation impact on Cali fire. You're right, Army Piper, and I know you were talking a little bit about that earlier. Appreciate you being here in the stream, by the way. Thank you. Yes, of course. People first. Exactly. All right. So let's move on with where this stream was supposed to go. So now Joe just went over, you know, what he's looking at, and you know, it could obviously break either way. And a lot of people are thinking that, yep, you know, we're going down.
Good.
Yeah. And could it? Sure. I mean, like Joe says all the time, nobody really knows. I mean, it's not like we got a crystal ball or anything like that. But to me, I see a lot of FOMO potentially coming down the line. And again, I showed you the inauguration timer, and hopefully that starts in about the 1 week period. We'll see. But let's start with some of the information that I want to share here with you to, I guess, plead my case with regard to the potential for FOMO happening with Bitcoin. And speaking of which, you know what? Only because I should do a little bit of housekeeping here. When we're done, Joe is going to be on his live stream at noon, as always. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me bring that information up, because there it is. Monday through Friday, he is live at noontime, and we're going to go raid his live stream. All you got to do is sit tight, and YouTube will take you right on over there. And don't forget, on the weekends, 5 p.m. Anything else you want to throw in there, Joe, before I head over?
And then
there?
I also do a 4 o'clock show Monday through Friday on Piper Academy.
Piper Academy. How could I forget? All right, let's bring up the first piece of evidence for FOMO. And a lot of these are short videos, so we're gonna definitely watch a few of those. And as soon as I get, there it is. I don't know why they're all backwards in my control panel today. But we're going to bring this up full screen. And this is, and I love this, you know, where the guest on MSNBC, and MSNBC, of course, you know, trying to shit on Bitcoin and everything else. But basically says, if you think MAGA is a strong political movement, wait until you see Bitcoiners. I think that is true. And I know he's saying Bitcoiners, but just the cryptocurrency space as a whole. So we'll give this, it's like 2 minutes long. We'll give this a quick run here.
Made.
Well, it's delivered on one important thing. It is a store of value, not too different than gold, right? So it's up 30,000% in the last 10 years. There's very few other assets on the planet have done that. Maybe NVIDIA, they're the ones that make the high-end GPUs that power generative AI. So when I think about what's going on here, it's a $2 trillion market cap. It's not going away. And if you think about why it's gone up of late is because of the promise of deregulation, the leaning in. And I'll just say this, if you think MAGA movement is a strong political movement, just wait until you see these Bitcoiners. This is like one of the strongest financial religious movements that I've ever seen as long as I've been in the business for nearly 30 years. So it's here to stay, and maybe some new regulation will kind of help. And the last thing I'll just say, Zeke, when you think about this, I know you did a lot of work on this. Some of the smartest people that I know in finance and in tech believe in this, and they believe in the technology that's under.
And you can see these guys chomping at the bit. They just want to like throw shade here at this point. But he brings up a good point where, I mean, look what happened with this election cycle. The crypto space as a whole was very influential in this cycle. I mean, Joe, you want to throw anything in on that before I
agree completely.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to be a movement going forward, and I wasn't expecting it in this 2024 election cycle. I truly wasn't, but I'm glad it was. All right, I'm going to let them finish it up because now they're going to throw some shade here.
Underlying it.
Okay,
it
but two things can be true. Okay,
100%.
that's my point. Two things can be true.
Yeah.
There could be real value in it. There could be a real business there. But that doesn't mean that there needs to be a government program transferring $100 billion to it.
And when we talk about smart people being into Bitcoin, is it because they think Bitcoin is like the technology that's going to power the future? Or is it because they're smart enough to realize there are a lot of people who are going to get on the train, feel the FOMO, and buy in? I mean, if you were able to predict that, more power to you. But I don't think the government should be in that business.
Well, I mean, there's no different than people investing in stocks or other illiquid assets. There really isn't. I mean, if people believe.
Hold on a minute. Beneath that stock are companies that sell products that you can. Okay, ready? Let's give you the Hawk to a girl example. Okay, yeah. A drunk girl outside a bar who becomes famous for a lewd comment. More power to her. Okay, she then launches a coin, is dishonest publicly about action around that coin. The value sinks, and now all these Bitcoin investors want this one.
Okay, and I these two things are not like the other, in my opinion. There, and they're completely missing the idea of Bitcoin as a commodity. So the strategic Bitcoin reserve, that's what's supposedly going to happen here, whether U.S. or across the globe, is no different than a gold reserve, is no different than an oil reserve. Right? My opinion. I mean, Joe, do you think I'm off base here or what?
Nope. I mean, you're right on the money. And she's the type of person that you can just obviously see that you can explain what Bitcoin is, and she's listening like this. And she's not hearing a word you're saying because she has her own thought process of why it is not good. And you could talk to her till you're blue in the face. But because she has that going on, anything you say, she's going to, and the stuff that she's going to say is not going to make any sense based off of what the information you just gave her. But yeah, you can tell that right away. Straight up. And FF brings up a good point right here. There are bad actors in every industry, right? And that is 1,000% true. I mean, let's be honest. And if that's the case, does that mean you don't go and create an oil reserve because you think, oh, these oil people make too much money? Come on, common sense. And Piper saying, whoa, Bitcoin strategic reserve will take years to make do you really think it's going to be years? I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends which way they decide to go with it. If it's an executive order thing, which I think that will be part of it. But I'll tell you what, they need to, if they're going to do something like what Senator Lummis has put forward. Matter of fact, she's one of the ones we're going to watch in a minute. We definitely need to get that done sooner rather than later, for sure.
Philosophically, so we put value in all things. So technically, nothing has value if you think like these haters. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, she's listening to respond versus listening to understand.
And I absolutely, I'm sorry, and I absolutely hate that, where he's answering her question, and then during the answer, oh, hold on, let me ask you a question. And then he responds, well, hold on, let me ask you. It's like, you're not even, just like how you said, she's not even listening. She's just waiting so she can, it's like, you can tell right away. It's like, nope.
Well, and you can see that they had that prepped, because she had that whole thing with the Hawk Tuah girl, right? She had that was ready to go, bam, and brought right up on the screen. So they were bringing that up regardless of what happened.
Right.
All right, let's move on to the next one. And this one is with Mark Moss, and a link to his channel is in the description of this live stream. If you're not following him, you really should. Great macroeconomic analyst. I love listening to him, and I think you can learn a lot from. He has a lot of training sessions, and he also talks about investing in a more macroeconomic way. And yeah, exactly, 100 Air. No, that's why none of us that are in the stream probably watch mainstream media. But we're going to bring this up again, about 2 minutes long. And I like the point he makes at the end about having the need for a neutral reserve asset that can't be controlled and or manipulated. And of course, he's referring to Bitcoin.
You said one thing to watch in the near term is this sovereign FOMO, the fear of missing out, with some potential countries buying under the radar. Considering the geopolitical fragmentation we're seeing around the world, let's talk about the big U.S. competitors. I mean, who can beat the U.S. to the punch here, and why is that a threat to the dollar?
Yeah. So, I mean, we talked about already with China potentially angling to have some sort of a gold-backed currency. And if they did that, there would be a lot of confidence in that currency, and that would pull away from the dollar. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of, I guess, basically what it is. That's the game theory in place. Now, in regards to Bitcoin, maybe some nations beating it to its punch. We know that both China and Russia, I mean, Russia's been kicked out of the global financial system. What are they supposed to do? Just go die? No, they'll figure out another system, obviously. And so there's a lot of stuff coming out of Russia. I don't know how much we can believe, but where Bitcoin has been legalized, and maybe they're already starting to acquire Bitcoin. They're starting to use Bitcoin. Some of the BRICS nations, I'm sure, are doing the same thing. They're all trying to find a new currency. And this is actually, if you want to look from a little bit of a bigger lens, is where it gets really interesting, because what we have is the world is breaking apart. Since the 1940s, after World War II, the world got much more centralized with the UN and the IMF and the BIS. The world has become much more centralized. And currently now the pendulum is swinging back the other way, and we're starting to decentralize, multipolar. And so now Russia's over here, and China's over here, and the BRICS are over here, the US is over here. And what's happening right now is they're all trying to figure out, how are we going to do global trade in this era where we don't have a global currency like the US dollar? Each country is now trying to manipulate their own currency. The BRICS are trying to say they're going to start their own currency, which I think is a nothing. It's probably never going to happen. None of those nations will ever trust each other. And ultimately, what the world is going to inevitably fall on is there needs to be what was intended in the Bretton Woods Agreement, a neutral reserve asset. That's what we have to have. We need a neutral reserve asset that nobody can control, that nobody can manipulate, and everyone could agree to that. That used to be gold. Gold doesn't work in the information age. So we need a neutral reserve asset that works, that's compatible with the information age that we're in. And the only option for that, the only option is Bitcoin. And I believe that's where we'll eventually settle.
Okay. Anything you want to throw in with regard to that, Joe? It's not, I'm going to jump into some of Piper's comments. Piper, maybe you should join us here. I don't we can if you're looking to do that, by all means, let me know. I'll try and get you the link. Joe, I'm sorry, anything you want to throw in?
No, I agree. It's just the fact that the question shouldn't be, do you think it's going to hurt the dollar? The question should be, since we know it's going to hurt the dollar, what's your thought process? Because it really is. It's not so much hurt the dollar, but it's the answer to the dollar. That's what I meant to say.
Okay. Where am I? So Pipe. Just I hate when the comments just go woof, and then what you were gonna talk about just disappears. Here we go. So the first thing, takings clause, Fifth Amendment. A Bitcoin reserve would not inherently violate the takings clause unless the government seized private Bitcoin holdings to create the reserves. I can't speak intelligently on that, so I'm gonna let that lie where it is, unless Joe, you want to add anything to what he's saying there.
Nope, no idea.
FF saying yes, everything has and all media does have a bias. You're not wrong about that. Hell, even us
the same bias.
Have a bias.
Yeah,
Well,
the same bias, the same words, the same script.
In a lot of the mainstream, yes, yeah. I love watching those videos where they're going through everybody using the same words. That's kind of funny. They would have to build it from scratch. It's not as simple as using what the U.S. has currently. That's all seized BTC. I'm just going to keep going with these comments. Piper, again, thank you. Now they would, now they could sell it and buy it back again, and they would wreck the markets in the process. Okay. Interesting. What's that say? Didn't they already sell some? Yes, they did. They did already sell some. And just recently, I think a week ago, they got the clearance from the last appeal that they could sell more, or the rest of it, I guess, if they wanted to. Although, according to the blockchain, they have not. They not yet, anyway. And yes, echo chamber. Exactly, Piper. And again, thank you for your input here, my friend. I truly appreciate it. I'm gonna, again, if you're just kind of chiming in, jumping in here, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, tick that bell icon. I appreciate it. And yes, exactly. And again, sit tight, because when we're done here today, we're going to be sending you straight over to Joe's stream in about 20 minutes. So we're going to keep Joe here as long as we can, because he's got his stream ready to go. Right, Joe?
Yep.
All right.
Very true.
All right. We're going to take a quick listen to Cynthia Lummis. Definitely a Bitcoin proponent in Congress. And I know for the people who are probably watching the stream, a lot of what she's going to talk about is, I don't want to say old news, but we all understand it. However, I think it's great to realize that she is here on Yahoo Finance. So again, I know mainstream media, but for getting the word out to people who maybe the only thing that they've heard is Bitcoin ETF, maybe, or Bitcoin's used by for illegal things. Those are the things. Damn, that just need to end. But anyway, all right, let's listen to this again. Just under
Bitcoin
2 minutes.
The right asset class to do that, even if that authority is given, just because of the volatility of it and also the fact that it's only been around for 15 years?
It absolutely is the right asset. It is digital gold. It is a finite source. Only 21 million Bitcoin will ever be mined. And it has the elements of strength, and even though it's slightly volatile, it's always volatile in an upward leaning direction. And so
Over
the goal
time,
here
that's
of
true.
holding it for 20 years is in recognition that on the short term, there is short-term volatility. On the long term, there is long-term growth that far exceeds the ability of the US dollar to keep up. The US dollar is designed to debase. The Fed has a goal of 2% per year inflation, whereas
But we're way over that.
Bitcoin's goal is to far exceed in value inflation and far exceed the value of the US dollar. And so far from inception, it has done exactly that. It's grown about 55% per year if you look at the long term. Over time, it'll drop from 55% a year to 45% a year to 35% a year. But it will continue to grow, where the US dollar will continue to decline in value. So it's a very important asset to hold.
Okay. And again, I know a lot of probably everybody watching the stream is all about that. But again, I think one of the better points that she brought up there is to look at it in a bigger time frame. And again, especially for people who are maybe not into Bitcoin, maybe don't even follow the asset class, etc. But when in doubt, zoom out, right, Joe? I mean,
right.
Please throw in anything you want about that. I know that's what you do. That's your life right there. No?
I'm curious though, like all these reporters, are they really that blinded to? I mean, because Bitcoin's been in the news for a few years now, and every day it gets more and more, whether it's on stock exchange news or just news in general, whether it's good or bad. But my question is, like, all these reporters I'm pretty sure it's scripted, but have they not looked at any of this information? Like, why is Bitcoin good or why is Bitcoin bad? Versus asking these very, in my opinion, very simple questions. I'm pretty sure it's scripted, but I'm just thinking, like, do they really think like this? Like, why is it Bitcoin? You need to do the dollar. So,
no, I'm with you. You think they do better research? I agree. And yes, we're gonna go straight over to Joe very shortly here. And yes, bingo bangos everywhere. I love it. And yeah, he's only invested in Bitcoin SV. Oh, automatic beats. That I love you, man. I love you. All right. So as you were coming in, I put a poll asking, what did you think? Is it going to be more country, sovereign kind of FOMO going on with Bitcoin? Or is it going to be more state? And I gave you of course, both option and or the neither option. And let's tab those votes here and end that poll, because right now it's showing 57% say both. So we're going to have FOMO both on a state level and on a country or a sovereign government level. And we got, believe it or not, 28% to just the sovereign, which surprised me. So if you put that together, it's like 3/4. But a couple of people said neither right here. So 14% said neither. That surprises me. I'm not going to lie. That kind of surprised me. What's your take on that, on the results of that poll, Joe? I mean, are you I'm a both person, to be completely honest, even though I didn't vote. I'm a both person.
I voted both.
And you voted for both? There you go. There you go. Yeah, I try not to vote on my own polls because I don't want to skew anything.
Right.
Anyway, rather, here is from Dennis Porter again. Like Dennis Porter, don't like Dennis Porter, doesn't really matter. The guy and what he does with the Satoshi Action Fund, I think, is a necessity, especially on the state level. And here you go. He's talking about the latest. And I also put in a link to an article that talks about this as well from Decrypt. So you'll find the link to that article. I'm not going to bring it up here now in the description of this live stream. But look at this. You got basically 5 state legislatures looking to introduce Bitcoin reserve, strategic Bitcoin reserve legislation. I'm glad to hear that, quite frankly. I mean, to me, again, winner, chicken dinner with regard to that. My opinion. So, and then that was okay. That's where we're going with regard to the whole Bitcoin strategic reserve, Bitcoin FOMO. But there was one other thing I wanted to bring up, which kind of struck me. I know that it's more centralized than most cryptocurrencies, It's kind of like an XRP centralized thing with regard to Hedera Hashgraph, but it was built with the idea of bringing these TradFi industries and major companies into the Web3 space. And sometimes to be able to do that, it becomes a little bit more centralized. Now they are run, Hedera Hashgraph is run because you can buy HBAR, stake your HBAR, and if you're looking to do find out information about that, I have it on my YouTube channel. Go ahead, check that out. Shows you exactly how to do it. But they're making more and more partnerships, and in this particular case, with 4 Philippine banks, again, link to this is in the description, where they've got now the interoperability between these banks to utilize a stable coin between them for settlements. Now, I know a lot of people they're not happy about stable coins. It's not what the ethos of the crypto space is about, et cetera, et cetera. But in our current level of adoption, my opinion is that these things are necessary. They're a necessary evil. And the fact that here we go, you have HBAR basically being able to be the connectivity rails for this, I think is a huge deal. Huge deal. So I know it's not Bitcoin, but this space is beyond just Bitcoin. So if I just aggravated a maxi, so sorry. But that's the facts of the matter. Joe, any thoughts about this with the stable coin running on the Hedera network?
I'm not too big on stable coins, so I really don't have a thought on this.
I get it. And again, they do a lot of, I've mentioned, matter of fact, let me just get this off the screen. I've mentioned with regard to HBAR, I didn't realize that they were the ones, because I use a credit union with regard to like my banking services, right, for fiat banking services. And I mentioned a couple of times, for the longest time, I kept getting this like when I went in on the mobile app, I kept getting this, hey, create a digital ID with us. And I'm like, double barrel for you. I'm not creating a digital ID with you. Come to find out, that was something that was put together for the National Credit Union Foundation by HBAR. I didn't even realize that until I was doing some other digging into what Hedera was doing. I'm like, what? Wait, really? You know what I mean? And so again, they're trying to bring, not that I set up the digital ID at that point, by the way, but they are trying to bring TradFi into our world here. Automatic Beats is saying USDT Tether moving to El Salvador. New news. I seen. Oh, really? This morning. I did not see that. Did you see anything about that, Joe? I didn't see anything. All right. Well, thank you for that info there, Automatic Beats. I'll have to go look that up. But again, when you listen to some of these people that travel around the globe often, like Peter McCormack used to talk about it when he was doing the What Bitcoin Did podcast. Joel Valenzuela talking about it when he sometimes goes over to different conferences over in Europe and so on. A lot of people who want to get paid don't want Bitcoin. They don't want Litecoin. They don't want any of this stuff. They want USDT. And they generally want it on the Tron network because guess what? Cheap, fast is what it is. So it doesn't surprise me with what Automatic Beats just said here about USDT moving on over to El Salvador and being utilized there. Doesn't surprise me. That's what I had set for today. So, I know Joe put out what could be a bleak looking Bitcoin picture early when we were looking at those charts earlier, but I don't know. I think again, zooming out, I think that the FOMO is real. And thank you to Piper for putting all of that information into the chat. Again, not something I would have even brought up. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. And again, if anybody looking to get that kind of level of in-depth information, link to Piper Academy in the description. Joe, any last minute thoughts before we kind of wrap things up here and head on over to your live stream?
Just crypto is the answer. Bitcoin is the big granddaddy of crypto, and it's going to change lives, and those that are having their ears covered and not listening, they'll be left behind. However, they will eventually see that their dollar that they had in the bank is now not worth $1. It's now worth 30 cents. It may take a long time for them to realize this, but they will realize it at one point.
Right. And thank you again, Alexandra. You're awesome. There's the link right there. Please go ahead, follow, show that support. And everybody else's, Billy Goat Tales in the description, Joe in the description. Show some love. Let's kind of bring everybody around here. Joe, one more time, tell everybody about your times you're live, and then I'm going to give an update as to what I got coming up this week. Oh, yeah, sorry, didn't mean to catch it mid cough there.
Oh, no, I was trying to time it. I was like, oh, let me cough real quick. No, so on Mondays is my busy day. Of course, I'm here at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I absolutely love this show. I love that, I met you, and here's the thing too. I was just scrolling, YouTube came up, saw somebody live. I was like, all right, let me check them out. Saw what you did, saw who you were. It's like, all right, this would be a really nice fit. So I'm very happy to have met you. And of course, we go live on Mondays at 11 a.m. Now that's new time at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then, of course, I do my show at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then I do I'm on live on Piper Academy at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's my Mondays. And then Monday through Friday on my channel, 12 p.m. And then, of course, Saturday and Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And what I do on my channel is I literally show you how to trade. And it gets me so upset. Like, it literally gets me so upset that there's all these other mentors that are out there that literally nickel and dime their members. If they add something to their group, they'll charge a one-time fee of $300 to get access to the new portion of the group. Or if they do an indicator, if they do whatever it is, it's always a fee. And that's why they're multimillionaires, because they are nickeling and diming their people. For me, my mom raised me with morals, ethics, integrity. I will not step on somebody's back to elevate myself. And all these other mentors, they do that. And it's not, that is my fire. That's my passion. And this is why I go live so many times, so that people can see that, hey, there are good people. Like for you, for example, Piper, for example, we have Road Dog, for example. There, we have Alex O Crypto. There are so many good people out there that give you quality content without saying, oh, well, if you want to learn how to trade, well, then you have to join my group. No, like we show you daily. So that's all I want. I mean, that's my passion. That's why I do what I do. And I am going to be going live as the season progresses, as the bull run progresses. I'm going to be going live multiple times a day so that I could hopefully save at least one person. If I can just save one person a week, man, I did my job. And
the mission has been accomplished.
Right. Saving them from getting bamboozled by all these people who dress up in nice suits and have Rolexes and, flexing and everything. I want to save them from that type of mentor. And that's my goal. That's my passion. And if I can just save one person a week, and yes, I have a VIP group. Do you have to join my group to learn? No. And matter of fact, I tell you that. Like who has a group that says you don't need to join? I do. Right. Because what I want to do is I want to show you that I can teach you, that I can show you how to make money before saying, if you want to make more money, if you want to make it faster, come into my group. If you're okay with doing the speed that you're at, you don't need to join the group.
Yeah, perfect.
And like nobody does that. They always want to, oh, well, if you want to learn, join my group. It's like, man, and that's my passion. My passion is to show you how to make money, to change your life. Really quick story. My mom, single mom, and man, she was a hard worker, and she tried her absolute best to go to the next level, as far as, finances and all this other good stuff. And I remember she was going to a community college, and I remember being with my brother inside the community college and sitting underneath some steps as she's in class for an hour. I remember this. I was young. Remember that. So my goal is to help people. So that's it.
I appreciate that. I really do. Listen, let's I saw a couple of comments. I had to I just had to go and go back. Automatic Beats, CCM and Joe, better combo than Frosties and Fries.
Nice.
I love it. Crypto Jar is in the house. Appreciate that. Let's see. Just zipping to making sure I'm not missing anything else. All right. Perfect. Listen, we're going to be heading over. It's almost that time. We got about 3 minutes before Joe's stream kicks off here.
Smash the like, guys. Smash the like.
Yes, please. And let me give you the quick 411 what's coming up this week. Tomorrow night, 6 p.m., myself, Crypto Jar, and FF live for Matrix Money Podcast. My plan is to go live again Wednesday morning. I'm going to be dropping a clip tomorrow morning as well. Let's see. What am I missing? Let's not forget Friday night, Crypto on the Rocks, 7 p.m. And for those who like the whole interviews that we've been doing on the Matrix Money Podcast, I have scheduled Daniel Diaz, so the executive director, Citizens for Sound Money, back to the Matrix Money Podcast, February 11th. So about 3 weeks out. And he's going to come back and we're going to get his take on where we are now with the new year. And at that point, the new administration and what he's been working on, because he advocates at the state level, obviously, for adoption of gold as legal tender. So we're going to see where he is at with that. So stay tuned. Lots more stuff coming up here. And like I said, we're gonna go raid Joe's stream right now. So just hang tight. Yeah,
I gotta go start it up.
Yeah,
thank you guys very much, and we'll see you over there. Take care.
Yes. And yeah, thank you, Jeffrey. Appreciate the thank yous. You're welcome. What's that say? Slackers not hitting the likes. Oh my God, hit the likes. Yeah, smash them up. It really does help. It's a simple way and free way to help the channel. Appreciate that. And then don't forget to share. Appreciate it. Yes, Joe, gone. And yes, thank you, Automatic Beats. Appreciate that. All right, guys, hang tight. We're going to head on over and raid Joe's stream. Starts in about a minute. So I'm heading out. I'll see you over there. Take care, everybody. Thanks for being here. I'll see you tomorrow night. Matrix Money Podcast, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Take care.